Nobody move
What are
until we
those
start.
units over there?
Not sure.
Those are tripods to hold a iPad.
Oh,
Cool. Selfie stick.
learn something new every day.
Devin, I gotta tell you, I'm glad I didn't buy tickets for the Hall of Fame now. I'm just saying.
Why is that?
Because, man, you and I both were like, man, I wonder who they're going to put in the class. And I was just like, man, only other than the Dudley boys so far. I mean, Ivory School, too. But,
Videos live.
oh, shit. What up, though?
He stole your ladies and gentlemen last week.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Ladies and gentlemen.
You should have showed up, bitch. I stole your
we live?
material.
Oh.
Hey.
Not yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Accentuate it this week.
Welcome to episode 19 of Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Who's that?
Wait. Uh-oh. I'm hearing CeeLo in my ear right now.
I can't hear much of anything right now.
My bad.
We good? We good? We good?
We're good.
Okay.
Switching back to manual. Resetting the song for the break.
Okay.
Take two.
It's good to be back on the show. I missed last week's show because I was sick as hell, but it's good to be back. And how you guys doing today?
No, he just didn't love us no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Something like that. Can I get my earphones turned up a little bit?
Turn your headphones up.
Please.
Turn them up.
Turn them shits up.
Turn them shits up.
You're 7.
All right.
I can't see it. It's over here.
Are we good? We good? Are we good?
Testing.
1, 2.
Testing, 1, 2.
Wow, that's hurt. Everybody headphones up. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody's up?
Can you hear?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you try, you listen and see if I'm tripping.
You might be tripping. Let's see.
Okay, now say something.
No, you're not tripping.
This is some compelling audio right here.
But screw it.
Here we go.
Hey, we're
Okay,
here.
Devin's gonna use those.
Knockouts and 3
Switching it up.
counts.
5-man
Welcome
walking
to the show.
clusterfuck.
We are here.
That's a great way to start off the show.
Look, we got a special guest in here. We got to look better than this, guys. We got to get this shit together,
We are
okay?
A
together.
little late for that.
Well, let's go ahead and go around the table, give everybody social media and all that good stuff. Let's start off with the man with the hat on, Kev.
I got a hat on, too.
Yeah, everybody, my name is Kevin. On Facebook, I'm Kevin D. Russ.
His name is Ken.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kev.
On Instagram
He
and
didn't
Twitter.
tell you your mom didn't love you.
He did, though.
I
Not
didn't
yet, though.
get to it yet.
Wait a minute.
He was waiting.
He
He
get
was
there.
All right.
On Instagram and Twitter, I'm _ made in the 80s.
His mama does love him this day.
Yeah.
Kyle, why don't you go ahead and throw out your social media, sir?
You can find me on Facebook at Kyle Collison. On Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT.
Mr. Thunder.
That's me. I'm Tony Thunder everywhere except for Twitter. I'm the Tony Thunder because I'm gonna report the other Tony Thunder tomorrow. He ain't reported. He ain't tweeted since 2013. He ain't got no likes or followers. Give me my name.
All right, you got anything coming up, sir? Any shows?
We'll get back to that.
Ooh, okay. Well, I am Devin McKenzie. You can hit me up on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTHE63. You can hit me up on Instagram at All Steak No Sizzle. That's one word. And yeah, hey, if you're looking for a car, make sure you hit up SouthfieldQualityCars.com. Check out the inventory. And when you go in there to buy your car, Tony,
Oh, here we go.
ready?
1939.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead and hit up that nice little reference code.
The reference code is 1939.
No.
No.
That's 1939.
9.
That's 19309.
Okay, so it's still 1939, but it's 1930.
9.
9. Yeah. All right.
Just
All right.
had to clarify.
Okay.
All right.
to make
Enough of this shenanigans. Let's welcome our.
Can't even spit it out.
Randy.
I've had podcast juice. Podcast juice is a word. We've had podcast juice. So, all right. Let's welcome our very special. You know what, Tony? I think you should make this intro.
I
man.
should make this intro.
I think you should do this
I
one,
should
sir.
make this intro. This is, ladies and gentlemen, you see him on TV. You see, okay, keep it going. Come on now. Come on.
Oh, Jesus
here we
Christ.
go. He is Steve, the monster savage, Osiris Congo Kong Wilson. He is here with us. Yes.
Mr. Congo Kong, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Glad to be here.
right, why don't you go ahead and throw your social media out there to the people, man, so they can know where to follow you?
You can catch me at Real Congo Kong on Twitter. Catch me under Steve Wilson or Congo Kong / The Juggernaut Osiris on Facebook. Instagram is Congo Cyrus 78, all one word.
All right. So, Tony, I think you should start this one off, sir.
I should start this one off.
Wrestler to wrestler, man. I want.
Okay, well, there is something that we do on every show with the wrestlers. I'm going to start it off with this. 'Cause
Okay.
I always just randomly do it. We have this thing going where it's like a locker room etiquette for younger guys. You know, to give them something to fall back on and to look at from a guy like yours perspective of what to do and what not to do. And I think me and Sean Tyler started it off with shake everybody's hand. I think that's one of the first things you should be taught, and when it comes to this. Mysterious Movado really pinpointed on that and went to further details behind it. Humor Tornado said, keep your baby mamas, your girlfriends, and your kids out the locker room. He went on that one. And last week, the Pally Prince, he said, what was his? Oh, wash your gear before every show. Make sure you wash your gear for every show. Is there something you want to add to one of those, or if you want to add something to the list yourself?
Wash your balls.
Wash your balls as well.
There's absolutely nothing worse. And your breath. Nothing worse than going to meet somebody and you're standing 3-4 feet away from them. You can smell them talking to you, and you get weak in the knees, and you're like, you need to do something about that. There's a lot of that, and young guys need to know that you make a bad impression. Nobody wants a stinky person around.
That's right. Now, we were talking about a couple of things. We had most of the best parts so far. This was before the show even started. Is there anything that you want to go through, Kyle, to go backtrack, or anything that we were talking about before the show?
I just want to say, just shout out to the Pally Prince. I think his interview was pretty insightful. Shout out to Andre on his big win.
Nice, he won.
Yeah, he won.
Get imaginary.
And he was friggin'
applause in the
5'2" fighting a big giant motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was a good night of fights. I liked the show last week. Like I said, his interview was real insightful. It was cool.
Nice.
Even though Devin don't love us no more because he decided not to.
I was sick, man.
Sick.
Man.
He was sick.
Oh, man.
I told you guys well ahead of time, like, I'm probably not going to make it, man. But we got Congo Kong.
He bought his hat in today like he do usually. That's his signature hat, y'all. He gets down on the grill. If you catch him out there at the family reunion, he got the flip-flops on, and he about to bring you some delicious barbecue.
And, I saw that post y'all put up on the page, man. Whoever put that up, fuck you very much. But, oh, by the way, Kong, anything flies here on this show. We have a disclaimer before the show because of this guy right here, so anything flies. But let me ask a quick question, man.
My mama might be watching, so no.
Sorry,
so
Mama
we're gonna keep
Kong.
this very PG, people.
You ain't met Miss Wilson. So,
That's a good point, sir.
But I have a quick question. It's not very often that when I come into the studio that the guest is bigger than I am. So
Here we go.
So one of the questions that I had is one of the bigger wrestlers in the business, man. Is there a big man style, and do you subscribe to that big man style?
yeah. It's called not leaving your feet unless absolutely necessary. It's part of the storytelling. When you look back and you watch Andre and Vader and Bam Bam and Akeem or One Man Gang or those bigger guys from back in the day, they hardly ever left their feet.
Right.
And when they did, it meant something. So there's a lot of guys out there that they choose to bump around all day, but I'm almost 40. I ain't.
How long have you been doing this?
19 years.
19 years.
19.
Nice.
Oh, geez.
Where did you start your training?
I started off in Grand Rapids, Michigan, under a company called PW3, Pro Wrestling Worldwide, and that lasted about a month or so. Then the trainer that they had brought in, Joe Ortega, started up another company in Holland, Michigan, called Lakeshore Wrestling Organization, and I was there for about a good 2 years before leaving to go play football in Indiana.
Oh, nice. What position did you play?
Anything on the line, everything on the line, offense and defense.
Okay. Where'd you play at?
University of St. Francis out of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, nice.
2-time defending national champions.
Oh,
yeah.
And I got to be part of the first year of an undefeated team. So feel pretty proud of them and glad to see that they're still having success after all these years, because that was back in 2003 I quit playing.
Oh, nice. And I know you progressed a lot since then to the point where, from being trained 19 years ago to training guys now. Do you still have your class? Are you still training guys? Was that a one-time thing, or?
Well, sometimes things happen and buildings get new ownership and they're like, oh, we don't want that pro wrestling in here because the insurance, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So the training class right now is at a halt, but I still have my students, and whenever I can or whenever I'm with them, I make sure that we go to shows early enough that, we can get in there and roll around, and I can teach them whatever's available that day.
Okay. What are some of your favorite, do you want to give me any shout-out to your trainees out there that might be listening?
There's quite a few of them. If I start calling names, somebody's going to get left out and get a little butthurt. And, I love all my kids, all the adopted ones and the real ones, all years.
So you got kids off the books, too? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Kev, you got a question for Mr. Kong?
Yes. What is your favorite promotion that you ever worked for?
Border City.
Border City.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you show up early in the day, but you don't, and you're like, why do I need to show up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, Scott? Scott DeMora runs it.
Right.
And you get there and you understand that, you got to get ready and do pre-tapes and eat catering at a certain time and do all your things before show. And before you know it, it's showtime. So the day goes pretty fast. And realistically, it's a setup for getting you ready for TV. Had I not, done 4 years of Border City, I wouldn't have been as ready for, Impact as I was. They pushed the mic up on my face and then I burned it.
It's a setup.
But, Border City runs on both sides of Canada and here in Detroit, right? So do you still work for Border City, or is that a promotion that's kind of in the past?
No, I'm the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
How many? I was about to say you carry a few titles, don't you?
Yeah.
What titles do you hold right now?
Man.
I mean, I don't even got to name them all day.
Don't do that. It's quite a few, and now, I don't want to leave nobody out because they're
kind of like your kids.
Yeah,
Whatever
exactly.
your titles are,
exactly, because promoters get mad. Oh, you didn't give us a shout out.
Ain't say shit.
Yeah, man. I can't remember where I worked yesterday, let alone where I'll be next week. So, I mean, and that's a blessing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, it's a lot of places sometimes.
All right. And I just want to call out Kyle because I mentioned that you had some questions before we got on the air that you were like, yeah, shout out to Sal for that good show last week. No, like we were talking about like Jimmy Jacobs.
No, I agree, but I thought you said to talk about the show from last week, motherfucker. That's why I said it.
I said that?
I could swear you did.
Oh, no.
No,
I was talking about what we
Stop
talking
fighting!
I didn't understand it like that. And I'm
Look here.
See?
Look here.
Come on, man.
I've had a rough day, okay? For you, those of you motherfuckers that don't know, I got
here
a
we
fucking
go.
flat tire right before I got here. So
Yeah, that sucks.
fuck
bro.
my life right now.
Yo,
Yeah.
75 North. I swear
That's
to
where
God,
I
there
got
was
it,
about
right when I got on 75 North.
20 people. Like even one pulled up next to me. Pow! I was like, "What was that?" And he
So
just
it's
pulled
proof
over.
it ain't just me. Hot damn it, or my driving.
Yeah, man. That
There was no way around it. It's right when you get on the on-ramp off of 94. There's no way around it. Like, you can't get onto the shoulder because it's so narrow. There's nothing you're going to do about it.
yeah.
You're
Michigan,
just going to take
Governor of Michigan, fix your damn roads.
Yep, I'm going to be
Sorry,
making a
Ma.
claim
Let's
against
call
the
them
state.
out.
Yep.
There we
Because
go.
y'all motherfuckers going to pay for my rim.
Oh, man. We were talking about Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah, but we were talking about that before the show. So we've seen that you've got Jimmy Jacobs with you now. Tell us a little bit about like what that's like having him with you, like your thoughts on Jimmy as a whole now that he's in Impact, the whole thing.
Well, when I first saw Jimmy I was actually at home during Bound for Glory, and so I was watching online the pay-per-view, and I saw him making his appearance right after he had been released from WWE, and I was like, wow. I was like, what if they put him with me? That would be awesome, but probably not, whatever. And just kind of shook it off and didn't pay any attention to it. Well, later that week, I arrived to Ottawa for tapings, and I see him, and we hug each other because we've known each other for almost 20 years now, because I was actually trained with Jimmy.
Okay.
Back when he was Big Bully Jimmy Jacobs and Osiris, we were a tag team.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got, quite a bit of history. And he told me, he said, hey, did you know they were putting this together? And I was just like, oh, that is so good. Like, because, to have somebody that's in the creative room, not only going to bat for you, but in your corner, you're going to get some good deals out of it. So kind of, relaxed me about things that were going on at the time, in Impact. So I'm glad. I'm so looking forward to, everything that we get to do, from here on out.
Nice. I heard you say you were in Ottawa when you found out you were going to be working with him. What cities do you guys go to? How's that schedule working with TNA and working, the independents as well?
Mostly it's Orlando that we go down to film TV. We were looking to switch it up, I guess. There was talks of possibly going to Toronto this next time. Excuse me, burp again. I just had chicken before I got here, y'all. Y'all gotta excuse me. And it was so good.
Shout out to Chicken Shack.
Yeah, Chicken Shack.
If you want to sponsor the show.
Thank you very much. But yeah, mostly Orlando, and the schedule is really cool. It's really laid back. We go down, I'd say once every other month or something like that, and record for 4 or 5 days, and we film, a couple episodes a day. We get a lot done in that little time that we're there, and it allows us to take pretty much whatever independent bookings we want.
Okay, nice.
Well, you kind of brought up, I don't know if you were trying to skirt around it or whatever, that the TNA, you were kind of, I guess you were feeling a little bit unrest, being there, whatever. So there's been a lot of changes at Impact. Can you talk about how things are now compared to when you first got there?
I can say that I'm a lot more relaxed with Scott D'Amore and Don Callis in charge than I have been in the past. I feel like I can go in and I can be Kong and not be somebody's perceived notion of what Kong should be or who Kong should be, how Kong should act.
Okay.
I felt like before they, kind of wanted to turn me into Kamala or Abdullah the Butcher or, and I try my best to, while incorporating a lot of those guys and a lot of their styles, steer away from being just like any one of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it gotten to a point where I was just like, I don't know how long this is gonna last because this ain't even cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to combat, these years of stereotypes of black wrestlers, and y'all got me going out trying to do goofy stuff.
Right.
And it just wasn't working for me. And now I feel like they get me. They understand that the character is more of a monster than it is a big, dumb, wild savage, because I never intended on Kongo Kong being a big, dumb savage at all.
Right.
Warrior was a savage, but he was intelligent.
Right.
Difference besides, obviously, the body and the steroids and all that is that I don't talk. I choose not to talk. I try to let my actions speak a little louder than, my words.
Right.
So, it's kind of funny you brought that up. Me and Kyle were able to talk to Booker T last week at Astronomicon, and one of the things that we kind of talked about was African Americans in the wrestling business. And you brought up Kamala, and Kamala wasn't necessarily the best representation of black people.
Neither was Crime Time, or
yeah.
While we're at it, R-Truth,
Hey, first the NWA champion.
It seems like every time you looked up back then, we're singing, dancing, rapping, being dumb savages, or committing crimes, and it was just never any true role models. You know, a lot of people say, well, The Rock was the first black whatever, and I mean, kinda, I guess, but you know, not.
If we count Obama, we gotta count Rock.
Fair enough. But really, I guess my first black role model was Ron Simmons, and I had the chance to tell him the day that he beat Vader, which Vader is one of my favorite wrestlers of all times. Right. Like, that moment was so real for me. Like, it just, like, even to this day, I can watch it and tear up a little bit because, you know what I mean, it was one of those situations where I felt like I could overcome anything, you know what I'm saying? Because I watched this man that I looked up to do it. And Vader was like the baddest mofo on the planet.
Right. And that was one of the things that we kind of talked to about Booker T, and I had to let him know, is like, man, to see a guy that looks like me win the WCW championship 5 times and win the WWE World Championship, and, you know, Ron Simmons and Mark Henry, that did something special for me. And you were saying that you kind of wanted to avoid sort of the same areas that kind of Kamala went into. So how important was that to you? Is it to you to portray Kong as a role model and try to avoid that stereotypical area?
I'd say very important because when I first started doing the gimmick, that's how it was described to me, is that I was going to be a cross between Umaga and Kamala. And I didn't want to do it. I fought with everything, you know what I'm saying, to not do it and to not be that type of character, but the money was good, so having bills to pay, sometimes you just got to fold a little.
Right.
I just wanted to say, before we got into, you know, where the character originated from and, you know, what you wanted to do to it to make it your own, I just wanted to say, when I was a kid, I looked up to Macho Man because I thought Macho Man was black. And I remember the day my mama told me, no, for real, I remember the day my mama told me that Macho Man wasn't black. It broke my little heart because I was like, because, you know, my mom was very light-skinned. And we were wrestling one day, and I, like, pulled up her shirt a little bit, seen her back. And I was like, Ma, your skin white. She's like, so all your favorite wrestlers white? And I was just like, no, they not. She's like, yes, they is. I'm like, Hulk Hogan, he darker than you. She's like, no, he's white. I was like,
He's bronze.
Macho Man got nappy hair, but I know he black. He darker than you, too. She's like, no, Macho Man ain't black. Well, she stopped and said, he might be, but
He might be.
she wasn't sure. Macho Man was dark and his hair was nappy, so I thought Macho Man was black. All right.
He could have passed for a fro for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he was black. You know, that's who I looked at. Like, yeah, Macho Man can do it. I can.
Oh.
But no, where did the character originate? And from where it originated to where it is now, what did you do to mold it into your own?
It started, I'd say, back in like 2007 for a company called Championship International Wrestling, CIW, runs usually in the southern Michigan area, by a guy by the name of Phil Monahan. And he had booked me as Osiris one time, and then I was trying to figure out what I needed to do to come back. You know, what did I do wrong or whatever? And he says, I don't really have anything for Osiris, but I got an idea to run by you. You know, and if you want to do it, then, you know, cool, we can work something out. I said, okay. And then that's when he told me about the cross between Umaga and Kamala. And, you know, I kind of had, I guess, free reign to create the character and make it what I wanted at the time, but I was going based off of Umaga and Kamala. So I came up with the name Shamari, which is an African name. I don't remember what exact tribe or anything that I got it from, but
It's Wakanda. Wakanda forever.
And did that for a couple years, and just kind of did the barefoot thing and tried different looks. I tried the loincloth look, which I kind of went back to. I guess I just have a different style now. Right. I tried like the giant Ming pants. Just doing whatever I could to try to make it different, I guess. And I worked a couple places, Ash Shamari, before the JCW thing happened.
Okay.
So
Let's go to Cav real quick.
so what was the inspiration behind the face paint? Like how you got it done up?
At first, I was just kind of freestyling and didn't really have a set style. But when I went to go work for JCW, who actually gave me the name Congo Kong, I heard that Violent J, who's a fan of face paint, obviously, he wanted me to paint my face like my tattoo, which I stole from a video game and kind of took it and created, my own thing with it. And
What game was that?
NCAA football. Yeah, one of the creative team creative team logos. Yeah,
That's dope.
98.
it was that same design, and I just kind of added some things to it, and it was like, I want this tattooed on me. Let's add a crown to it. Why not?
So with one of our past guests that we had on, Sheena, she told us that she had been to a lot of the different JCW shows. I've been to one myself. Tell us a little bit about JCW, your thoughts on that promotion, like all that stuff.
When I first got to JCW, I didn't know what to think. Sometimes you look out in the audience, and you're like, well,
Fuck yeah, that's what I thought the first time I went there.
what in the world is going on here? But I guess it's kind of grown on me, and then especially since Madman Pondo gave the big speech about don't throw shit. Excuse me, he actually did that at a gathering because we were getting pelted with all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I've tasted every flavor of Faygo there is.
Oh wow.
Faygo, batteries, shoes. I remember Truth Martini when I first started, he was my manager, and he was getting pelted with all kinds of stuff, and it was ridiculous. Nobody understood. Now they enjoy the wrestling for what it is, and not for the circus sideshow that they thought it was at the time.
Right.
And I feel like I understand Juggalos a little bit better.
Kyle's secretly a juggalo.
Get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Look, the one
He
and
calls
only,
Faygo Juggalo juice.
I do. This is news to me. Fuck. I mean, this is news to me. Hell, the one and only time I went there was when they were at the Modern. And it
The
was
Modern Exchange.
Yep.
Oh man, R.I.P. to wrestling shows being there.
Then they had it was Necro Butcher versus just a random guy, and I'll never forget. I had just got leg surgery. It was my senior year of high school. I was sitting on there's like a couch. If you've ever been in the Modern, there's always a couch that was sitting back against the wall.
red couch.
I'm laid there up there with my leg up because it's in a cast. Here comes Necro Butcher, comes out with a fucking light tube and smokes this dude like literally this close to me. I'm like, fuck, I can't even get out of the way. So I'm gonna just go like this and just cover
Fetal
up.
position. That's what you do, man.
I couldn't even get up. I was like, shit.
Well, I've got one question about the Juggalos, and then after this we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit of more current stuff. But you said have you ever been to the gathering?
Yeah, I've been to several gatherings.
As a black guy,
Oh man.
God.
please tell me what it's like being at the gathering of the Juggalos.
I mean,
I've got to hear this.
you don't get treated any different, but you see some weird stuff. You see naked people that should never be naked in public. You see some that should be. I got some nice pictures, you know what I'm saying, with some that I was like, okay, all right. High five to you. And you see some people in states of mind that you thought you probably never see live. And back in the day, they had this thing called the drug bridge.
Oh yeah.
Where you would go, and it was literally a bridge, and people would be like, I got you this, I got you that, whatever you need, you know what I'm saying, hit me up, blah, blah, blah.
That's where it goes down.
It is.
It goes down at the bridge.
Are there any?
Definitely, they've gotten better, but it was definitely something to experience before you die. Is to go to
To go
gathering.
through
Dude,
bridge.
Mick Foley said that
Not
was
the
the
drug bridge gathering.
Is there trolls under that bridge? I imagine.
Mick Foley said straight up that was the most scared he'd ever been was when he performed at the gathering.
Did somebody ignorant ass throw a battery at Ric Flair?
It doesn't
I
shock
think
me.
somebody
At the
bust
gap-
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair? I thought-
Ric Flair, what is wrong
At the
with you?
gathering?
Yeah.
Why was Ric Flair at the gathering?
Same reason Jerry Lawler and everybody else.
I thought CM Punk said somebody
Because there was a year they were spending a lot of money to bring in a lot of big names, and I mean they were getting the crowds to pay for them, so it made sense. But just regular juggalos not really knowing any better, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Just doing their thing, being juggalos.
Blaster Ric Flair.
So what's the biggest name you saw get basically kicked off the stage at the gathering?
Kicked off the stage.
Because as far as I understand it, that if you're on stage and the juggalos aren't happy with you, they'll start pelting you with stuff. So like what's the most famous person you remember seeing at the gathering that fans didn't really approve of?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a juggalo by paycheck. Once my job is done, I disappear. And
Okay.
I don't participate in a lot of the other activities or whatever, in and out. I'm there as a performer. So
Right.
I don't try to get into everything that they're into. Some of the people are whatever.
Right.
Trying to be politically correct.
Why did I want you to say Jim Cornette though? I don't know why.
Could you imagine the promos he would cut on the people there? Holy shit.
Screw you guys. But we're gonna take a
Time
quick
for that.
break, and when we come back, we'll talk more with Congo Kong about his career and a little bit more of the current products. That's
Got
going
some
on.
fights to talk about too.
Yes, sir. So we'll be right back
Very
after these
much so.
quick messages.
What the hell do they call Conrad on there, Devin?
The Alabama Dream.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back from that
I was gonna say, 'cause
short
there was a
break,
guy
and
at the Dirty Dozen that had him tattooed on his
hey,
fucking leg.
hey, Kyle, hey, Kyle, we're back, man. We're back.
I'm gonna kick you in your fucking nose. All right.
Oh,
That's not the
not
line.
the dick.
That's not the
It's not
line.
the dick.
That's not the line.
First the nose, then the dick.
Can I take a sip of my drink?
So we're back. I felt like since we have a current, I keep wanting to say TNA. I don't want to keep saying TNA. Since we have a current Impact Wrestling star right here in the studio, talk to us about where Impact is right now and where they're going as far as storylines. Your storyline, you're looking for a certain man by the name of Abyss right now. So talk to me about where you are right now and where you see the company going in the future, man.
First of all, allow me to clarify because a lot of people are confused on what to call it. They're like, is it GFW? Is it TNA?
Is it Impact?
It's Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
Second, what are we doing? I just destroyed. I have to go by what happened on TV.
The last thing they had was
destroyed
you
the
guys
office.
destroying the office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm hunting Abyss down. You know, sometimes you got to find the biggest guy in the yard and take him out just to establish dominance, and that's kind of where we're aiming, where we're trying to go. You know, and no spoilers given away here. If you want those, you read the dirt sheets, I guess.
Would it be a spoiler to ask, what is it like working with him?
No, not at all, because
Okay.
I've worked with him beforehand.
Okay. What is it like working with other big men to where you can,
It's
that story being told is what I'm asking.
yeah, it's different. You know, you don't have to go out there and catch a million dives or toss anybody around. You tell a different kind of story, and it's kind of a story of two titans. You know,
Right.
and if you do it right, people will want to pay attention and they'll want to watch. And I think we managed to capture that and make it work.
So, how did you enjoy working with Laura Van Ness?
Man, that was so fun. she did that role so great.
I was just about to say that. She played the shit out of that.
Such a good character. It was really kind of poetic the way it happened. I thought when I came in that I'd be a part of the Decay at first, and Jeff kind of felt like it'd be better for me to be her revenge, and that'd be how I was introduced. And the only thing I didn't really, I guess, particularly care for was how it was just done away with so quickly and without explanation, or me getting my revenge. She just kind of dumped me and went for Grado. And what's he got that I ain't got? But yeah, it was quite fun. Quite fun.
Another question I got, we were talking about Abyss. What are your thoughts on all the hardcore stuff? Because we all know he loves barbed wire massacres and all that kind of stuff.
It's not for me, but it has a place in wrestling. And if you do it right, the right way and set it up correctly, then, it like I said, it has a place. If you go to a show and that's all you see is 3 or 4 matches where they're beating each other with light tubes and doing all kinds of crazy, ridiculous stuff to each other, that's not pro wrestling to me. But if 2 guys have been going at it, and just about killing each other, and now it's time for them to settle this once and for all, that's where your hardcore matches and your blood feud type matches, come in.
Exactly. I was just about to say it's kind of what you would want it to build up to at that point, especially with Abyss being who he is. But I know you mentioned earlier. You mentioned Jeff Jarrett. What do you think about him getting inducted to the Hall of Fame? Was that a surprise?
I didn't mention that.
You did?
Yeah, it was, kind of the way things happened, but and I've seen a lot of people, talk about what his WWE career, amounted to, and take stabs at him, and really it has no merit. You know, what that man's done in his entire career is what they look at. And, you know, to go from USWA to, you know, WWE to starting his own company, TNA, which is now Impact Wrestling, how could you not? You know, how could you avoid that? And so what if he has demons? There's a lot of wrestlers, a lot of guys that we look up to that are our heroes that have had demons. And I have nothing but respect for Jeff, you know, because he saw something in me when a lot of people didn't. So, you know, kudos to him. I'm really happy for him and wish him nothing but the best.
Absolutely. I know earlier we were talking about the fight card a little bit, and you say you caught the main event a little bit as far as...
Yep, Donald Cerrone and Yancy Medeiros.
Oh, yeah. I caught the last two matches, the heavyweight match and Donald Cerrone. And I've been a fan of Cowboys for a while.
Yep.
And the way they were hyping up the Hawaiian kid, I thought he had a chance, but Donald Cerrone, you know what I'm saying, showed his butt. And,
Well, what was cool about that fight, he just fought on the card that Devin and I were at here in Detroit when they did the UFC here.
taking all of Devin's lines today.
And then they had, and then the cool thing with that fight is they just, like, how you could see, like, the mutual respect between them. Because, like, after the fight was over, after Medeiros got knocked out, you know, he hopped the fence and then went and hugged Cerrone's grandma or whatever. It was just kind of cool to see, like, just like the mutual respect, because most of the time people get this stupid idea when it comes to fighting, like everybody like you gotta hate the guy. Dude, it's fucking business.
For the
dude.
sport of it.
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm trying to beat you because you've got a bigger name than me and there's money. It's pretty much that sums it up. Plus, it was a big win for Cerrone, being that he was off 4 straight losses.
Right.
Oh. Coming from a pro wrestling background, they hugged a lot, almost too much. It's hard to tell a good story when you're hugging that much.
Yeah.
Got people crying because, you know, oh, they're really friends. They really like each other. Oh, he just punched him. What? I'm confused.
I thought you was cool.
And then they get back up and hug again. It's like, okay, all right, whatever.
Right. So, as a pro wrestler, man, like, how much do you watch MMA and how much do you get into MMA as a pro wrestler? Do you watch it differently as a pro wrestler that someone that's never, you know, been a pro wrestler might watch it?
Also, do you have any fight background experience yourself?
Yeah, I was an amateur wrestler in high school.
Okay.
That was as close as I come.
That counts. It actually does.
Yeah.
Boxing, wrestling considered mixed martial arts.
I figured, I feel like I can grapple with, you know, some of the best of them. As far as how I view MMA, I don't know. I've never been in anybody else's shoes viewing MMA, but it's fun to watch. You know, it's like for me, boxing, you know, is no longer fun to watch. But I can watch a guy kick a guy, slam him, choke him out. You know, and there's all these options here. My bad, Mr. Boxer, man.
Hey, man, I've done both, so it's all good.
Now, there are a lot of guys that transition from, you know, wrestling to MMA. You know, you got your Brocks, you got your Punks. Then you got it the other way around. You got your Tom Lawlers. You got your, what's his name?
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle.
Yep.
You got Shayna Baszler. You got Ronda Rousey. Coming to WWE. Do you think that being a star on the MMA level automatically certifies you as you should be a top dog in WWE?
I don't. Because I've seen work punches happen in UFC, you know, and that's one thing that I can't say is, as a trained professional wrestler, I know a fake punch when I see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when Brock Lesnar hit Randy Couture,
I was at that fight.
I'm just sitting there looking like, okay, he barely grazed him. Come on now, guys. Like, if you're gonna do it, lay it in. You gotta make it count. You know.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not saying all MMA is fake or anything like that, but
you know when you see one.
Sometimes there's a fix thrown in there, and then, you know, in order to keep good ratings, why not? That's what Vince does. That's how everything, you know, evolved to where it is now.
I think everything is rigged. The NBA, the NHL. Hold on, I got a text. The Illuminati said they outside.
Hey, you gotta watch the Boston View.
Ain't nothing rigged here.
The views and thoughts of
baseball,
Tony Thunder.
football, hockey. It's all real. It's all real. They really competing.
They just text him on his flip phone.
They come out with entrance music. Yeah, they come out with entrance musics and with the pyros, with theme songs, and they got their own gimmicks, but it's all real.
So
now the views and opinions expressed by Tony Thunder are not necessarily those of Knockouts and Three Counts and Podcast Detroit.
Damn, you about killed Devin.
As a wrestler, do you still watch wrestling?
Yeah. Whenever I'm home and can tune in, yeah. I still have some catching up to do. I haven't watched NXT for I don't know how long, but yeah, like I try to catch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and I mean, honestly, I got friends on there, so why wouldn't I?
What are some of your favorite guys there that you would like to work with? Or that you know.
I don't know. I feel like I could be that guy for Cena, you know what I'm saying, one time, and maybe Randy Orton, and Braun just intrigues me. I really, really, really dig that guy. He has turned from like just this big boring, I don't know, to
get
he's
these
cool
hands.
now. Yeah, get these hands, like singing with a giant bass.
That's what I was about to say. What the fuck? And he broke the string
broke it.
trying to strum the fucking thing.
That was awesome. Just watching him and some of the stuff that they do with him, that part excites me. And honestly, in my opinion, if they were smart and listened to their fans, he'd be the way to go for Mania with Brock.
I agree completely.
Trying to go back to Roman, Roman's had his run, and until it's time for it to come around again, you can't really keep forcing that on people.
Absolutely. Now I know I'm owed some water poured on me, and I know the Chamber's coming up this weekend. Are we doing predictions tonight, fellas, or what are we doing?
We might as well since it's this weekend, but
Yeah,
we
get
kind
Connor's
of
opinions,
got
too.
to it. The topic,
that works for me, man.
What are we putting on the line this time? Because I know y'all got to dump some water on me soon, but it's cold outside,
So
right?
Kong can know what's going on. We do this thing called the water bet. Everybody makes their picks. We did it for what pay-per-view was that? That was Rumble, right?
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble.
So we did it for the Rumble. We did it between Takeover and Royal Rumble, and whoever got the least amount right has to buy the winner dinner and get soaked. There's this thing called the Wheel of Water, so you spin it, and however it lands, that's how you get soaked. And Tony happened to be the biggest loser.
See, what happened was they wouldn't let me change, right?
Look
Because
here, bro. You were
when I first
happened
walked
was-
in, look, even though Jeff Hardy didn't even come out, because we did surprise entrance, for an extra
That's
point
what
or
won
whatever.
it for me.
Hey, you know what?
No, hold on, wait.
Can-
Hold on, wait. Whoa. Hold up.
Okay.
You're going to have to
All
give Cog a backstory about this one, because
Okay.
he don't really know about that, so you're going to have to go into detail.
I'll
But
explain it.
I just wanted to say, they cheated me because they wouldn't let me change
little
my
butthurt.
pick. And they said, "Oh, Jeff Hardy already ordered roster, so you can pick him as a
It's a
surprise
surprise
pick."
entry.
And he still ain't come out. But anyway, when I changed my answer, it was too late to change it back, so I couldn't get my answer.
You changed it.
They
to
cheated me.
We let you change it to Kenny Omega.
He
and
lying.
you still lost.
He lying. All right, so tell her about how.
Look.
Yeah.
So
Hold on. I have to at least tell why he's so angry. So it came down to the wire.
No. I'm telling this story. Fuck you.
No.
Look, Mr. Kong, man. Let's talk for a minute, man. Look, we all have dreams, right?
That's a great way to start this.
We do. We all have
Beautiful
dreams.
segue.
And there's certain people that when we have the chance to meet them, we want to like get a nice little hug from them, right? So as a kid, I was 14 years old, man. I was 14. I was a child. I'm down in Atlanta.
He was a 6'2" child, by the way.
That's not the point.
With a
I've been
beard.
there. I've been there.
You know what? That might be why this didn't go the way I wanted it to. But I was a child. I'm down in Atlanta visiting my sister, and just so happens that WWE is going to be there the next day. Oh, and guess who's doing the autograph signing at Six Flags? Trish Stratus, one of my favorite women in WWE history. So I wait in line with me and my little sister to go get a little autograph from Trish Stratus. To get my autograph, I was like, Trish, can I have a hug? She said, no. So at that point, I hated Trish Stratus' guts. From that point on.
I got to tell you, she retweeted me that day.
She tweeted you back?
retweeted me.
So what she's...
She didn't say that. She just retweeted it.
So she still didn't acknowledge me. Fuck her, man.
She still didn't she thought it was funny.
All I wanted was a hug, right? And she said, no. So at that point, I hated Trish Stratus. Lita was my girl from that point on.
Makes sense.
They were tied up.
So it can't.
They were tied
No, fuck you. So, Royal Rumble, right? Me and him are
Because
tied,
I'm the white
right?
guy, that's why.
So, one of the tiebreakers was who's going to be a surprise entrance in the Women's Royal Rumble. He picked Trish
I
Stratus.
took the sure pick.
I picked
Look.
Kelly. She was there.
And I picked Peyton Royce, thinking, okay,
you were
you know,
on the
they're
bottom
going
of
to
the
call
list,
her up. You know, she's on the roster already. They'll bring her up for the Royal Rumble.
Do we need to bump this show a half an hour so we can all get dinner beforehand?
That's not. I could eat. I mean, I'm
There's
always
No,
down.
either way,
Lots of chip bags.
Shots
into
fired.
the-
And it's not
Thank you,
Kyle
Tony.
this time, hot damn it. Kyle's not doing it into the mic. I just want that fucking known now.
But all I'm
It's
saying
always
is,
Kyle, y'all.
all I'm saying is, I lost the Rumble challenge
Of
because of
course it
Trish
is, you
Stratus, but I'm
fuck.
already pissed off at her. So, yeah,
All right, he was mad at Trish Stratus for not giving him a hug. She the reason he lost the bet. So
fuck Trish Stratus.
Well, technically,
No,
Tony.
I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
hashtag unfuck Trish Stratus.
If I could only have videotaped his reaction.
Oh
he's
no, wait! Like the craziest stuff was this dude there calling everybody that was about to come out. Eddie J was just calling out everybody.
Rey Mysterio's coming up next.
Boom! Rey Mysterio comes out. This guy, the next guy who's going to
He
come
worked for
out,
WWE.
yeah, the next guy who's going to come out was a
called the
former
Hurricane.
European champion. I'm
He
like,
called the
what would be a
fucking-
European champion to come out? Matt
He
Hardy
called
come
the
out.
fucking hurricane.
He called
of
the
all
Hurricane.
people.
Really? Wow.
The number they came out, he called that.
Maybe he has a source from
He
his
must
company.
know somebody.
Or he has a source.
Right, that motherfucker.
He
knew
knows
everything
something
about
because
that.
he called him to the T, to the number, and everything. It's like,
Who calls the Hurricane and Rey Mysterio and gets it right? Who says a former European champion and one comes out? Like,
Ed. Well, I'm looking at the card. There's only 4 matches that's on the card right now as far as Elimination Chamber comes. So, do you still want to do this?
whoa.
It's 5. Didn't they Apollo and Titus?
Okay, that's another one. But
we
other-
can still go through them. I mean, we're not doing. We're not doing a water bet on this one, are we? We're not doing another one till
We
Mania.
might as well just, yeah.
Not
wait
till Mania.
wait till Mania.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait till Mania.
We'll wait till Mania.
All right.
We're going to wait till Mania.
We can still do the predictions and shit,
Wait
though.
till Mania.
You want to do predictions?
Sure.
Are you
Sure, yeah.
Are you up to date, Carl?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start off with our illustrious guest. First
That
match
needs
we
to be another bell for Devin. It's illustrious.
The word of the day is illustrious. That's the word of the day. Illustrious. We got it.
our illustrious guest.
The quintessential illustrious.
Our first match we have Woken Matt Hardy versus timeout. Were you there when he was broken?
Yes.
I just got in, and he was on his way out.
Oh, okay. So, did you have any interactions, any thoughts on the broken Matt Hardy character in the broken universe?
All right.
That sums it up.
Yeah, it really does.
But if it gets over, it gets over. What can you do? You know, just because I don't necessarily think it's the greatest thing ever. I mean, millions of people obviously love it. So
Okay. So we have Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. Your pick, sir.
hopefully Bray. I feel like he's been there a while and he's paid his dues and he's done everything that he's been asked and he's even stayed off the injury list for a while now and and I just hope they finally get their head out of their butts and do something with him. Don't be dinging me.
I'm sorry, I don't.
I want to piggyback off that because I think Bray Wyatt deserves to win too.
He does.
I don't know if y'all seen it, but
I
there's
agree.
this thing floating around the internet of how many matches he's won in the last 3 years.
It was like 3.
No, it was like 16 or something out of like hundreds.
Well, all you gotta
I'm
look
hoping
at.
he win this one, but if this was gonna be a bet, I would say Matt's gonna win.
Yeah.
But like because I want to go for the story, I want to go for not what I want, but what I
Yeah,
think is gonna happen,
exactly.
which is the problem. That's what I usually always do. I want Bray to win. I'll put it like that. I'm hoping.
Dude,
Bray
the
wins.
crappy
So
part
is that your pick?
Yes.
to further even push that
No.
home is look at
how
this
they do
time.
it? See how
This
they
time
do it?
last year.
There's nothing on the line on this one, man. So
All right, don't matter.
This time last year, I mean, dude was champion. Like,
and then they
and look where it's
interim
at now.
and they screwed that up too. I think Matt Hardy wins this one.
I'm gonna give it to Matt because Bray don't win wars.
That's true.
He win matches, not wars.
Fair enough.
Kyle.
I think Bray should win, but I think Matt's gonna win.
Okay. All right. Our next match, we'll start off with our guest. We have, as I call her, Asuka.
Asuka.
The bazooka.
Naito.
Versus Nia Jax. If Jax wins, she will be added to the women's championship match at WrestleMania 34.
Man, I don't know. As much as I like Asuka's undefeated streak, I like Nia Jax that much more. And I believe that she should have been in the title picture.
I couldn't agree more, damn it.
Absolutely no way she shouldn't have been champ by now, you know what I'm saying, and dominating all them little ladies.
I couldn't agree more.
She's not like most girls.
Is that your pick, Kyle?
No, I'm picking Asuka, but I think Nia Jax should
That's
win.
what I was saying. Like, I can't pick what I want. I got to pick what I
Look,
think
dude,
will happen. Because
let's be honest.
That's exactly what I
Asuka is
want.
not going to lose through WrestleMania. She's going to go to Mania, and whoever she fights, she's going to take the belt from him.
I feel the same way.
Kev?
Asuka's not going to lose at Eliminated Champion match. Asuka.
Casper the
Asuka.
Friendly.
Whoa. Let me
She's-
smack this
she's-
microphone again.
She's not going to lose at something like Fastlane or something like that. It's going to be like a WrestleMania or
Damn. Okay.
I'm just saying.
See, here's the thing, though. If she loses by disqualification or anything like that, does it count against her record?
Yes. 'cause
She
it's
still hasn't
close.
been pinned, though.
If Nia
So her
Jax,
record is
it just
pinned or
says if
submitted.
Nia Jax wins. That's all it says.
So Nia Jax could win without Asuka being, without pinning her or submitting her. So
Now,
I'm
an
gonna go with
idea
Nia.
I heard thrown out that would make sense for that to happen is what if you had, they're trying to do the whole thing with Alexa Bliss and her being friends or whatever. What if Alexa Bliss tries to come out to help her ass or something and fucks it up somehow and gets
A double counter is still a draw. So
That's
they-
a draw that doesn't count.
Still,
That's a
she
draw.
doesn't win, though.
nobody wins.
Man, screw you guys for stealing my thunder. I said Nia Jax is going to win. But
That's
she
my
won't.
name. Next match.
I say Nia Jax wins, but she doesn't pin her, and she gets in the match.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I'm hoping for.
So, our next match, Alexa Bliss versus Bailey versus Mandy Rose versus
Oh, yeah. It's
Mickey James versus Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville for the Raw Women's Championship.
Ladies Chamber.
Mr. Kong.
Based on history, if the champion loses on Monday Night Raw, 9 times out of 10 they'll retain at the pay-per-view. So I'm gonna go with Alexa.
Kev?
Alexa.
Kyle?
Alexa, because I don't see any of the rest of them getting the belt.
Alexa?
I guess it's unanimous.
Unanimous? All right.
If Paige was in
Is
the
that
match,
I think that's the first
Paige.
unanimous right there.
I'm still so bummed about that with Paige, though, because I liked what they were doing with that, and it sucks the way that she had to go out like that.
Wait, did you like it on Raw or SmackDown? Because it's basically the same thing.
I liked Raw. I think SmackDown's a carbon copy.
Whoa.
Only because it comes on Tuesdays.
Yeah, you watch your tongue.
You're here on
You
Tuesdays.
hold your tongue.
You hold your tongue.
All righty. Our main event, we have
The Man's Chamber.
That's not very comfortable.
7-man Elimination Chamber match. We have Braun Strowman versus Elias Sampson. I'm still calling him Sampson, damn it. Finn Balor.
It's not?
No,
No.
it's Elias now.
Oh.
Apollo is just Apollo now.
You know, when you get called up to the main roster, you lose your first or last name. You know how it goes. So, Braun Strowman versus Elias versus Finn Balor versus John Cena versus Roman Reigns versus Seth frickin' Rollins versus Tony Thunder's favorite guy, The Miz.
Oh,
Okay,
my God.
I got a question for that.
Well, I don't.
Why? Okay, look.
Here you go. You just took up the rest of the show.
Are they starting off with 3 or are they using 5 chambers?
I don't know.
No. They started for 3. That's the thing, though.
Okay.
Okay. The Miz lost a match to be the first person. The person he playing, it doesn't matter if you're the first person or the second person or the third. Oh, first person,
microphone.
first, second, or third. You still the first
Start-
person in there.
Exactly.
So I don't understand what was the point.
I don't. Fill TV time. I don't know. But,
Okay.
Mr. Kong, your thoughts.
I want Braun Strowman to win, obviously. I think it's his time. I think he's super over. The stuff that they can do with him, he has the world at his feet. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna go ahead and keep riding the Roman Reigns train, and give him the big W.
All right. I'll go next. ABR. Anybody but Roman.
Okay.
But it's going to be Roman.
Okay.
Mr.
Picking
Thunder.
Roman as well. It's my turn. All right. So look, I'm gonna say Braun. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like Brock been beefing with Braun more than Roman lately, especially with like the triple threat and all the stuff they went through with that. So it looks like they could be leaning towards Braun, but again, you know, Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns, but John Cena's in that match too. So I'm gonna go with Braun, man. But I would like my surprise pick, who I think would. Nah, I'm gonna go with Braun.
All right. Kyle?
I want to go with Braun, dude, because I think it's probably going to be Roman, but I want it to be Braun.
I want it to be Finn then.
Hey,
You wanted to be fan, but who do you think is going to
would he be the
Roman.
demon?
Roman?
No, he's not gonna be a demon. Demon can't lose. But but he ain't gonna be a demon now.
Didn't the demon?
No.
lose
The
to
demon
Joe?
has lost.
The
He
story,
lost to Joe.
the story that you could tell with Finn and Brock at Mania, that would be
Beating
worth
the
something.
demon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they, you know, and well, just the idea of such a tiny guy conquering such a big guy, you know,
Everything Goliath.
irresistible.
I thought they were gonna. I picked him to win the Rumble. Like I thought that's what they should have did. I was betting on what I wanted to happen, and I picked Finn to win the Rumble, which is why they cheated me. Cause see, I had repicked the person I wanted to win. I said Nakamura. They was like, it's too late. It's already
You
the day.
lying son of a bitch.
And yeah,
But, so you're going with
Roman.
Okay.
he going with Finn.
All right.
I lost by picking Finn. He going with Finn.
All right. I want to thank our guest, Congo Khan, for joining us in studio, man. It's truly a pleasure, man.
Definitely.
You have any bookings coming up, especially here in the Michigan area, that you want to? If you need a moment to go through your phone and
Right.
pull them
yeah,
up.
that would be it.
Okay, all right. Well, while you're pulling up your bookings, we'll start off with our stuff. Kev, you got anything coming up, man? And if not, throw your social media out there, sir.
Actually, not really. But you know what? My wedding anniversary party's coming up real soon. Y'all all invited.
We are?
There it is.
Yes.
Will there be alcohol?
Yes.
I will be there.
Let him barbecue.
But yeah, and, on Instagram and Twitter it's __ May in the 80s. On Facebook it's Kevin D. Russ, and add the Reality Era News page.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And if you don't follow the page or like the page, if you don't like our podcast page and you on that group, you got to go. We were supposed to been did that, right? You got to go.
We'd lose like
We eating out.
everybody.
Let them know.
Kyle.
So nobody's mentioned it yet, but we got the fights that we're doing down for TXC next month that we're going to be gearing up for. So be on the lookout. We've got Adrian Harjabij, which is on the list for the UFC Contender Series, is going to be on the show.
We got a surprise Hall of Famer coming up, too, this weekend, right?
Lord willing, hopefully that works out. We're supposed to go to the Comic-Con this weekend, and hopefully we'll have Ted DiBiase on with us. So some big things in the works. So be on the lookout on the Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast page on Facebook.
Yeah, like
That's
it
where
and
you can
follow
find
it.
it all. And share it with some
Love it.
motherfuckers, man.
Add us on
Please.
Instagram.
Wake up and brush your teeth to it.
That works too.
Mr. Thunder. Any bookings coming up, man?
March 3rd, I gotta fight Cole Daniels, man. I gotta fight him. We fighting. If it come, man, let me tell you like this. If the doctor clears you, sir, you go wish he didn't. That's all I gotta say about
Is
that.
that the guy that missed the table?
Excuse me?
Is that the guy that missed the table?
That is not Marcus Everett. That is not Marcus Everett.
I know that guy.
Shout out to Marcus Everett. Last match we had, I don't know if y'all saw it, but in the middle of the match, we got in each other's face and said, "You want to do this? You want to do this?" And we broke down and played a game of chess.
All right, now.
The fuck?
Ladies
that
and gentlemen,
picture.
pro wrestling.
I seen that picture. I was like, okay.
It went down. Show tournament. Oh.
Social media and all
Yeah,
that
I'm
good
Tony
stuff.
Thunder everywhere. Tony Thunder everywhere except for Twitter. I'm the Tony Thunder because y'all already know I'm coming.
And you can hit me up on Twitter at Devin63. That's DEVINTHE63. You can hit me up on Instagram at All Steak No Sizzle. That's one word. Hey, if you're looking for a car, make sure you check out SouthfieldQualityCars.com. Check out their inventory. And
Randy, what's the code?
19309.
So it's
1939.
He cut his mic back off.
go get you a car. All right, Mr. Kong.
Yes, sir.
Any bookings coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, especially in this area, Detroit area. I'm actually in Windsor on March 3rd for an Impact/Border City Wrestling co-produced show. Nice. And then I'll return again on the 17th for NPWA. I won't say what those letters stand for. You just have to look it up for NPWA because I'm really not sure. I think it might be.
I think that's your boy.
Midwest.
That's Metro Pro.
Yeah, see, it's not Metro Pro. He already cussed me out for saying it was Metro Pro. I think it's Midwest Pro Wrestling Alliance. I'm not sure.
That sounds about right.
And that sounds off. That sounds close. I'm gonna guess Wrestling Alliance are the last two. I don't know about the first two.
It's wrestling here in Michigan.
Wrestling.
Right,
That
exactly.
Detroit wrestling.
Oh, on the 11th, XICW.
Ooh, that's a good one.
They're right here in town. One of my favorite places to go. See, I'm looking. It's a big, long.
We need to start doing that
schedule.
with guests so we're
Many,
not so
many-
fucking discombobulated.
Yeah. Who we
Yeah.
got next week, y'all? No.
In April, I return April 29th to XICW. And that's it for now. So, yeah, promoters.
Are you going to be down at that Impact show down there at Mania?
You know, I don't know. They haven't told me yet.
Okay.
Sometimes I get phone calls and emails, a week beforehand, and I find out, and I'm just like, all right, I'll drop whatever it is that I had planned and go because that's what my contract says do.
Well, tell these promoters how to get in contact with you, man. Get that
Man, you can
schedule all the
reach
way
me.
filled up.
Reach me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, whatever. At Real Congo Kong on Twitter, Steve Wilson or Congo Kong / the Juggernaut Osiris on Facebook. And Congo Cyrus 78 on Instagram, or you can email me even at Osiris78. That's OSYRIS78 at gmail.com to find out some booking information. Let's see if we can coagulate.
Word of the day. Word of the day is coagulation.
We already have one.
That's the word for next week.
Illustrious.
Oh, illustrious. 2 words of the day.
But yeah, get a hold of me. Let's talk, and I hope to go out there and spread my name, spread my brand, I guess. Any fans you feel like contacting me on there, that's fine too. I may answer, I may not. Depends on how weird your profile looks. Just gonna be honest. If it looks a little suspect, probably not. Because I've already had a couple issues with people that I never met on the other side of the country talking about, I miss talking to you. And
Oh,
All in your inbox.
no. Looks like I'm not the only one with stalkers.
Sir, did you know that you were a prince of a Nigerian country?
You got to send them $500.
Right. What is your bank account number? No.
Any last words for the fans out there real quick? Or
For the fans, I'd say thank you. Without us, we'd be, or without us,
And without us.
without you, we'd be some weirdos, rolling around with each other in spandex.
I mean, but without you, you wouldn't have fans. So, I mean,
This is true.
This is true.
But yeah, also, to the young inspired, is it inspiring? No, it's aspiring pro wrestlers. I would say, if this is for you, pursue it. Pursue it hard. Pursue it with everything you got, and don't give up. Just because you get a couple no's, don't mean you'll never get a yes. You gotta be open to change, and willing to conform to new stuff. And I mean, as long as you had the right training, I feel like the world is at your feet.
okay. Anything else, fellas?
I think we got.
We good?
I think we got.
All right. With all that being
Our
said,
exit music.
Fuck your couch!
Okay. That's a new one. That's a new one.
No, it ain't. You just missed it.
That's a new one tonight.
Wrestling, no means not Jake.